Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Life has a way of throwing us into situations where emotions run high, where words spoken in the heat of the moment can either escalate a conflict or create wounds that take years to heal. But wisdom teaches us something powerful. Not every action demands a reaction. Not every provocation deserves our energy. When someone wrongs us, our instinct is to respond, to defend ourselves, to lash out, to demand an explanation. It feels justified, even necessary. Yet, in many cases, reacting only feeds the fire. It ties us emotionally to the very person or situation that is dragging us down. Instead of finding resolution, we find ourselves entangled in a cycle of negativity, constantly replaying the hurt in our minds. But there's a better way: silence. Not silence as weakness or avoidance, but silence as strength. Silence as clarity. Silence as a decision to prioritize your peace over someone else's chaos. Cutting someone off silently is not about revenge or playing games, it's about reclaiming your power. It's about recognizing when a relationship, a friendship, or even a casual interaction is no longer serving you but harming you. Imagine this: you're holding a glass of water. The longer you hold it, the heavier it feels. It doesn't matter if it's half full or half empty. Over time, the weight becomes unbearable. The same is true with toxic people. The longer you hold on to them, the more they drain you. You owe it to yourself to set that glass down. When you choose to cut someone off silently, you make a statement not to them but to yourself. You declare, I am worthy of peace. I am worthy of relationships that uplift me, not tear me down. Silence becomes a shield, protecting your spirit from unnecessary battles. This isn't easy. Letting go without confrontation challenges our egos. We want closure, an apology, or at least acknowledgement of the hurt they caused. But the harsh truth is, some people will never see your worth. Some will never own their mistakes. Waiting for them to change or to say the right thing keeps you chained to the past. Silence, on the other hand, sets you free. Cutting people off doesn't mean you hate them. It doesn't mean you wish them harm. It means you value your inner peace more than their dysfunction. It means you've decided to stop explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. You don't owe anyone an explanation for choosing to protect your energy. In the moments when you feel tempted to react, remember this: your silence speaks volumes. While words may fade, the absence of your presence will echo. People notice when your energy shifts, when you stop engaging, when you quietly step away. It's a powerful message, far louder than any argument. Now, let's be clear. Silence doesn't mean suppressing your emotions. Feel them, acknowledge them, but channel that energy inward. Instead of reacting outwardly, invest in yourself. Redirect your focus to your growth, your goals, and your happiness. Use that energy to build the life you deserve, not to tear someone else down. As you navigate relationships in life, remember this: you are the gatekeeper of your peace. Not everyone deserves access to your world. Some doors need to close, not because of hate, but because of self-love. Walk away with grace, knowing that your silence is not just the absence of noise, but the presence of wisdom. Choosing not to react in difficult situations is one of the most profound demonstrations of inner strength. It goes against our natural instincts, which often urge us to respond in the heat of the moment, to defend ourselves, or to retaliate when provoked. Yet, the ability to remain silent and composed is a mark of maturity and self-awareness. It reflects an understanding that not every action warrants a reaction, and not every word spoken against you needs to be countered. When you refuse to react, you are not showing weakness, you are exercising control over your emotions. Reacting impulsively is easy. It takes no effort to let anger or frustration dictate your behavior. But to pause, to breathe, and to choose silence requires discipline. It requires the courage to break free from the pull of immediate gratification that comes with winning an argument or proving a point. True strength lies in the ability to remain calm even when your emotions are screaming for release. Silence in the face of provocation can feel unnatural at first. After all, society often equates silence with passivity. People may view those who don't speak up as timid or fearful. However, silence is not about avoiding conflict, it is about choosing your battles wisely. When you respond to every slight or insult, you give others power over your emotions. You allow their words or actions to dictate your state of mind. By staying silent, you reclaim that power. You decide that your peace is worth more than their drama. In moments of conflict, silence has an almost disarming effect. It forces the other person to pause and reflect, even if only momentarily. Arguments thrive on back and forth exchanges. When one party chooses silence, the dynamic shifts. The aggressor is left with nothing to feed on, and the energy of the conflict begins to dissipate. This is not about manipulation, but about maintaining control over your own reactions. You become the master of your emotions rather than a puppet to someone else's provocations. Silence also gives you time to think. Reacting impulsively often leads to regret because decisions made in anger or frustration are rarely wise. When you remain silent, you create a buffer between the stimulus and your response. This pause allows you to assess the situation more clearly. Is this worth my energy? What outcome do I hope to achieve? By asking these questions, you gain clarity and avoid unnecessary confrontations that could escalate the situation or damage relationships. Another important aspect of silence is the message it conveys. People often misunderstand silence, believing it to mean acquiescence or surrender. On the contrary, silence speaks volumes. It says, I will not stoop to your level. I value my peace more than this conflict. It sends a powerful signal that you are unshaken and in control. The absence of words can be more impactful than a torrent of them because it forces others to confront their own behavior without the distraction of your reaction. This approach is particularly effective when dealing with individuals who thrive on conflict. Some people enjoy stirring up drama. They seek reactions because it validates their behavior and gives them a sense of control. When you deny them the reaction they crave, you disrupt their cycle. They are forced to look elsewhere for validation, leaving you free to live your life unburdened by their negativity. Choosing silence does not mean suppressing your feelings. It is important to acknowledge and process your emotions in healthy ways, whether through journaling, talking to a trusted friend, or seeking professional guidance. Silence in the moment is not about ignoring the issue. It is about responding in a way that aligns with your values and preserves your dignity. Moreover, silence fosters growth. Every time you choose not to react, you strengthen your emotional resilience. You learn to navigate challenges with grace and to prioritize your long-term peace over short-term satisfaction. This skill benefits not only your personal relationships but also your professional life, where staying composed under pressure is a valuable asset. It is also worth noting that silence can be a form of self-respect. When someone disrespects you, engaging with them can feel like lowering yourself to their level. By remaining silent, you uphold your own standards. You demonstrate that you will not engage in petty arguments or allow others to drag you down. This self-respect is empowering and reinforces your sense of self-worth. In the end, choosing not to react is an act of liberation. It frees you from the need to prove yourself to others and allows you to focus on what truly matters. It is a way of saying, I choose peace over chaos. I choose growth over negativity. I choose myself. Silence, far from being a weakness, is one of the strongest tools you can wield in navigating the complexities of life. It allows you to maintain your dignity, preserve your peace, and stay true to your values, even in the face of adversity. Protecting your peace is one of the most vital acts of self-preservation you can undertake. In a world filled with distractions, conflicts, and negativity, maintaining inner tranquility is no small feat. It requires intentional effort and at times difficult decisions. One of those decisions is knowing when to cut people off silently, choosing to protect your mental and emotional well-being over engaging in unnecessary turmoil. When we speak of peace, it isn't just the absence of external noise, but a state of inner harmony. It's about being able to wake up each day without a heavy heart or a cluttered mind, free from the burden of toxic relationships and unnecessary drama. Achieving this kind of peace means setting boundaries and understanding that not everyone deserves access to your energy. Protecting your peace is not about being selfish, it's about being selective. Toxic individuals, those who drain your energy, create conflict, or undermine your self-worth, are like emotional clutter. They weigh you down, consume your time, and disrupt your sense of stability. Every interaction with them feels heavy, leaving you emotionally exhausted. Over time, this can take a serious toll on your mental health, leading to anxiety, stress, or even depression. When you choose to cut such people off silently, you are making a conscious decision to prioritize your well being over their dysfunction. Silence is an especially powerful tool in this context because it avoids the drama of confrontation. Some people thrive on conflict; they want to provoke a reaction because it gives them a sense of control or satisfaction. Engaging with them often leads to circular arguments, unresolved tension, and even greater frustration. By choosing silence, you remove yourself from their narrative. You deny them the reaction they seek, and in doing so, reclaim your power. Protecting your peace also means valuing your time and energy. Time is a finite resource, and how you spend it directly impacts your quality of life. When you invest your time in people who uplift you, support you, and bring positivity into your life, you feel energized and fulfilled. Conversely, when you waste your time on toxic individuals, you feel drained and demoralized. Cutting people off silently is a way of redirecting your energy toward what truly matters: your goals, your passions, and the people who genuinely care about you. It's important to recognize that not everyone is meant to stay in your life forever. Some relationships are seasonal, serving a purpose for a specific time and then fading away. Holding on to people out of habit, guilt, or fear of being alone can do more harm than good. Letting go, even silently, is an act of courage. It's an acknowledgement that your peace is more important than maintaining a relationship that no longer serves you. One of the most profound aspects of protecting your peace is the sense of empowerment it brings. When you take control of your emotional environment, you stop feeling like a victim of circumstances. You realize that you have the power to choose who and what you allow into your life. This shift in perspective is liberating. It transforms you from a passive participant in your life to an active architect of your happiness. However, protecting your peace doesn't mean avoiding all conflict or cutting off anyone who disagrees with you. Healthy relationships involve disagreements and challenges, but they also involve mutual respect and a willingness to work through issues. The decision to cut someone off silently should come after careful consideration. Ask yourself, is this relationship adding value to my life, or is it consistently draining me? Do I feel supported and respected, or do I feel belittled and manipulated? The answers to these questions will guide you in making the right choice. Once you decide to cut someone off, it's essential to do so with grace. Silence doesn't mean bitterness or resentment; it means stepping away without creating further damage. It's a way of saying, I value my peace enough to let this go without unnecessary conflict. This approach not only protects your peace, but also allows you to move forward without carrying the weight of negativity. Protecting your peace is also an act of self-love. When you prioritize your well-being, you send a powerful message to yourself: I am worth protecting. My happiness matters. This self-affirmation strengthens your self-esteem and helps you set higher standards for your relationships. You begin to attract people who respect your boundaries and appreciate your worth, creating a positive cycle of healthy interactions. Life is too short to spend it constantly fighting for your peace. You deserve relationships that nurture your soul, environments that inspire you, and a life that feels aligned with your values. By cutting toxic people off silently, you create space for these positive experiences to enter your life. It's not an act of selfishness, it's an act of survival and self-respect. Ultimately, protecting your peace is about taking responsibility for your happiness. It's about recognizing that you cannot control others, but you can control your responses to them. It's about choosing to walk away from chaos and towards serenity. And it's about trusting that the silence you leave behind speaks volumes, not just to the people you walk away from, but to yourself. It says, I choose me, and that choice is one of the most powerful you can make. Breaking the cycle of negativity is one of the most liberating actions you can take for your emotional and mental well-being. Negativity, whether it comes from toxic relationships, constant conflicts, or unhealthy environments, has a way of embedding itself into your life, weighing you down and affecting your overall happiness. It often operates like a vicious cycle, provoking reactions, escalating emotions, and creating a repetitive loop of frustration, anger, or sadness. To truly free yourself, you must consciously decide to disrupt that pattern, and one of the most effective ways to do so is by choosing silence and walking away without engaging further. Negativity thrives on engagement. It needs fuel to keep going, and more often than not, that fuel is your reaction. When someone criticizes, provokes, or attacks you, your instinct might be to defend yourself, explain your perspective, or retaliate. While this reaction might feel justified in the moment, it often perpetuates the conflict. Arguments escalate, harsh words are exchanged, and the emotional toll on both parties increases. Each reaction adds another layer to the negativity, binding you further into the cycle. By choosing not to react, you take away the power of negativity. Silence becomes your tool for disrupting the flow of conflict. It removes the energy that fuels the other person's behavior, forcing the cycle to slow down and eventually stop. When you refuse to engage, the negativity loses its grip on you. It may continue on the other person's side, but it no longer controls your emotions or your actions. You free yourself from the burden of having to fight battles that don't serve your growth or peace. Breaking the cycle of negativity through silence is not an act of surrender, it's an act of empowerment. It's about recognizing that you have a choice. You can either be drawn into the drama, expending your energy on things that don't benefit you, or you can step away and preserve your peace. This decision requires strength because it often goes against your instincts. It requires you to let go of the need to have the last word, to prove yourself right, or to seek validation from someone who may never give it. When you choose silence, you are also choosing clarity. Reacting impulsively in the heat of the moment clouds your judgment. It pulls you into a whirlwind of emotions, making it difficult to see the situation objectively. Silence, on the other hand, creates space for reflection. It allows you to step back, assess the situation, and decide how or if you want to respond. This clarity helps you make decisions that align with your values and priorities rather than being driven by anger or frustration. Silence is particularly effective in dealing with individuals who are perpetually negative or toxic. These are the people who seem to thrive on conflict, who know how to push your buttons and provoke a reaction. Engaging with them only reinforces their behavior, giving them the attention or control they seek. By refusing to respond, you send a powerful message you will not be manipulated or drawn into their cycle. Over time, this lack of engagement forces them to reconsider their approach or, at the very least, to direct their negativity elsewhere. Breaking the cycle of negativity also involves a shift in focus. Instead of pouring your energy into conflicts or toxic interactions, you redirect it toward positive and constructive pursuits. This might mean investing in relationships that uplift and inspire you, dedicating time to personal growth, or simply engaging in activities that bring you joy. By focusing on what nourishes your soul, you create a life that feels meaningful and fulfilling, leaving little room for negativity to take root. It's important to acknowledge that breaking the cycle of negativity is not always easy. It requires patience and persistence, especially if the source of negativity is someone close to you, such as a family member or a longtime friend. In these cases, cutting them off silently might feel harsh or even painful. However, it's crucial to remember that protecting your peace does not mean you love them any less. It simply means you recognize the impact their behavior has on your well-being and are choosing to prioritize your health and happiness. One of the most significant benefits of breaking the cycle of negativity is the sense of liberation it brings. Negativity can feel like a heavy weight, dragging you down and limiting your potential. When you free yourself from it, you feel lighter, more energized, and more in control of your life. You no longer wake up dreading interactions or replaying conflicts in your mind. Instead, you create space for positivity, growth, and genuine connections. Choosing to disrupt negativity through silence and disengagement is not about avoiding problems, it's about choosing your battles wisely. It's about recognizing that not all conflicts are worth your time and that your energy is better spent on things that enrich your life. It's about understanding that you cannot control how others act, but you can control how you respond, and sometimes the best response is no response at all. In the end, breaking the cycle of negativity is an act of self respect. It's a declaration that you will no longer allow toxic energy to dictate your emotions or your actions. It's a commitment to yourself, a promise to protect your peace and prioritize your happiness. By choosing silence and cutting off the source of negativity, you take a bold step toward a life of greater harmony, clarity, and fulfillment. And that is a cycle worth perpetuating. Valuing self-worth over validation is a profound and transformative principle that shapes how you view yourself and how you navigate your relationships. It's the act of recognizing your inherent value and refusing to let external opinions, acknowledgments, or affirmations define your sense of worth. This shift in mindset is especially important when dealing with toxic relationships or situations that drain your energy. Cutting people off silently becomes an act of self-love, a declaration that you no longer seek approval from those who fail to appreciate or respect you. Validation often feels necessary because it offers a sense of acknowledgement or affirmation. From childhood, we are conditioned to look to others for approval: parents, teachers, peers, and eventually colleagues or romantic partners. When we receive praise or acceptance, it reinforces a sense of belonging or achievement. But this reliance on external validation can become a double-edged sword. It can create a dependency that ties your self-worth to the opinions and actions of others. When you rely on others for validation, you hand over control of your emotional state. Their approval can lift you, but their criticism or indifference can just as easily crush you. This dependency is exhausting and unsustainable because people are unpredictable. They may not always respond in ways that affirm your value, and waiting for their acknowledgement can leave you feeling frustrated, unseen, or unworthy. Worse, some people exploit this need for validation, using it as a tool to manipulate or control you. Cutting people off silently is an act of reclaiming your power. It's a decision to stop waiting for an apology, an explanation, or even acknowledgement from those who have wronged you. Toxic individuals, by their nature, often refuse to take accountability for their actions. They may deny your perspective, minimize your feelings, or deflect responsibility. Waiting for them to validate your experiences is not only futile but also a disservice to your self-esteem. By walking away in silence, you declare that their recognition is not a prerequisite for your healing or self-worth. Choosing self-worth over validation means shifting the focus inward. It requires you to develop a deep understanding and appreciation of who you are, independent of external opinions. This process begins with self-reflection. Take time to identify your strengths, values, and the qualities that make you unique. Recognize your accomplishments, no matter how small, and celebrate them. By cultivating this inner awareness, you build a foundation of confidence that cannot be easily shaken by the opinions or actions of others. This shift also involves setting boundaries. People who constantly demand your attention, undermine your confidence, or bring negativity into your life do not deserve unlimited access to your energy. Setting boundaries is not about punishing them, but about protecting yourself. It's about making it clear that you will no longer tolerate behavior that diminishes your sense of self-worth. Silence is a powerful boundary. It signals that you have chosen to prioritize your well-being over engaging in futile interactions. An important part of valuing self-worth over validation is learning to let go of the need to be understood by everyone. Not everyone will see your perspective, appreciate your efforts, or align with your values, and that's okay. Your worth is not dependent on their ability to recognize it. Letting go of this need frees you from the endless pursuit of trying to explain yourself to those who are unwilling or incapable of understanding. It allows you to conserve your energy for people and situations that genuinely support your growth. Walking away silently is often misunderstood as avoidance or weakness, but it's far from that. It is a strategic and empowering choice. Silence eliminates the opportunity for toxic individuals to twist your words, provoke further conflict, or undermine your decisions. It preserves your dignity by allowing you to exit the situation gracefully, without stooping to the level of petty arguments or blame games. It's an act of strength that prioritizes your peace and self-respect. One of the most significant benefits of valuing self-worth over validation is the sense of liberation it brings. When you stop seeking approval from others, you free yourself from their influence. You become less affected by criticism, rejection, or indifference because your sense of self is rooted within, not reliant on external factors. This freedom allows you to pursue your goals and live authentically without fear of judgment or the need to constantly prove yourself. This shift also transforms your relationships. When you value yourself, you naturally attract people who value you too. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect, not on one-sided efforts to seek approval. By letting go of toxic individuals who fail to see your worth, you create space for connections that uplift and inspire you. These relationships reinforce your self-esteem rather than depleting it, creating a positive cycle of support and affirmation. It's important to recognize that valuing self-worth over validation is a journey, not a destination. There will be moments of doubt, especially if you have spent years seeking approval from others. But every time you choose to prioritize your well-being, every time you walk away from negativity without seeking closure or acknowledgement, you reinforce the belief that your worth is not up for debate. Ultimately, choosing self-worth over validation is a profound act of self-respect. It's about recognizing that you are enough as you are and that your value does not depend on the recognition of others. By cutting people off silently and focusing on your growth, you take control of your narrative. You declare, I am worthy of peace, respect, and happiness, and I will not compromise my well-being for anyone who fails to see that. This realization is not just empowering, it is life-changing. Redirecting energy toward growth is one of the most impactful and transformative decisions you can make in life. Energy is a finite resource, and how you choose to allocate it determines the trajectory of your life. In a world full of distractions, challenges, and toxic relationships, it's easy to get caught up in negativity and conflict, draining your energy on things that do not serve your long-term happiness or personal development. By choosing to focus your energy on growth, whether it's personal, professional, emotional, or spiritual, you create a path that leads to fulfillment, success, and resilience. The first step in redirecting your energy toward growth is recognizing where your energy is currently going. Take a moment to reflect on how much time and effort you invest in people, situations, or habits that bring little to no value to your life. This may include toxic relationships, negative thought patterns, or activities that do not align with your goals and values. Every moment spent on these drains your mental, emotional, and physical resources, leaving you with little left to nurture the aspects of your life that are truly meaningful. By choosing to cut off toxic individuals or disengage from draining situations silently, you immediately create space to redirect your energy. Instead of reacting to every provocation or feeling compelled to justify yourself to others, you free up emotional bandwidth for more positive pursuits. This doesn't mean completely cutting off relationships or avoiding conflict. It means selectively focusing your energy on people and situations that align with your growth and making deliberate choices to detach from those that hinder it. This shift in focus can be life-changing because it empowers you to take control of where your energy goes rather than letting it be hijacked by external forces. When you redirect your energy toward growth, you begin to invest in your personal development. Growth is a multifaceted process. It's about becoming a better version of yourself in all aspects of your life. This could mean investing time in learning new skills, improving your emotional intelligence, or developing healthier habits. It might involve setting new goals for your career, or it could be about exploring spiritual practices that align with your values. The key is to focus on areas where you can continually evolve, expand your knowledge, and enhance your quality of life. Personal growth also requires self-awareness. It's about acknowledging where you are and where you want to be, and taking actionable steps toward getting there. When you redirect your energy toward growth, you begin to ask yourself important questions. What do I want to achieve? What kind of person do I want to become? What are the obstacles standing in my way and how can I overcome them? These questions help you gain clarity and a sense of direction, making your growth intentional and purpose-driven. Without this focus, it's easy to get lost in the noise and distractions of everyday life, which only perpetuates stagnation and dissatisfaction. Redirecting energy toward growth is also essential for emotional well-being. Negative emotions such as anger, resentment, or frustration can consume vast amounts of energy, leaving you feeling depleted and drained. When you choose to disengage from toxic people or situations, you create the emotional space to process your feelings in a healthy way. Instead of spending mental energy ruminating on the actions of others or seeking validation, you can focus on healing, forgiving, and moving forward. This is not to say that you should suppress your emotions or avoid dealing with conflict. On the contrary, emotional growth involves recognizing and processing your feelings, but it also requires you to move through them rather than getting stuck. By redirecting your energy toward growth, you empower yourself to work through negative emotions in constructive ways, whether through journaling, seeking therapy, or practicing mindfulness. The more you invest in understanding and managing your emotions, the more resilient and balanced you become, allowing you to navigate life's challenges with greater ease. In the realm of professional growth, redirecting your energy can lead to new opportunities and achievements. Instead of wasting time on trivial concerns, gossip, or toxic office politics, you can focus your energy on improving your skills, building relationships, and working towards your career goals. This could mean taking on new projects, seeking mentorship, or expanding your professional network. By dedicating time and energy to your career growth, you create momentum that leads to personal satisfaction and professional success. It's about making choices that align with your vision for the future rather than getting bogged down by immediate distractions. Redirecting energy toward growth also strengthens resilience. Life is full of challenges and setbacks are inevitable. However, when you focus on growth, you shift your mindset from one of survival to one of thriving. Instead of viewing obstacles as insurmountable, you see them as opportunities to learn, evolve, and become stronger. This mindset allows you to approach difficulties with greater calm, confidence, and adaptability, knowing that every challenge is a chance to grow. One of the most important aspects of redirecting your energy toward growth is recognizing the value of your time. Time is our most precious resource, and how we use it ultimately shapes our lives. When you choose to spend your time on activities that promote growth, you invest in yourself. Whether you're reading a book, taking a course, exercising, or engaging in meaningful conversations, each moment spent on personal development compounds over time, leading to cumulative progress. In contrast, when you waste time on negative people or situations, you not only lose that time, but also the opportunity for growth that comes with it. The impact of redirecting energy toward growth extends beyond just yourself. As you become more focused on your personal development, you naturally become a source of inspiration for others. Your growth encourages those around you to invest in their own development, creating a ripple effect that positively impacts your relationships, communities, and the world at large. The more you prioritize growth, the more you become an agent of change, spreading positivity, motivation, and support to others. Ultimately, redirecting energy toward growth is an investment in your future. It's about making deliberate choices that lead you closer to becoming the person you aspire to be. It's about recognizing that your energy is valuable and that where you direct it determines the direction of your life. By focusing on growth, whether personal, professional, or emotional, you unlock your potential, elevate your sense of fulfillment, and build a life that reflects your values and aspirations. This redirection is a powerful way to break free from negativity, embrace positive change, and create a life of purpose and meaning. In conclusion, the decision to cut toxic individuals off silently and redirect your energy toward growth is a powerful and empowering choice. By disengaging from negativity and focusing on your personal development, you free yourself from the draining effects of toxic relationships, unproductive conflicts, and external validation. This shift allows you to reclaim your time, energy, and emotional well-being, providing space for growth, healing, and resilience. Ultimately, the act of choosing to protect your peace, value your self-worth, and focus on what truly matters leads to a more fulfilling and purposeful life. It's a reminder that your energy is precious and should be invested in the things and people that contribute positively to your journey. As you grow, you not only elevate your own life, but inspire those around you to do the same. The path to growth is not always easy, but by consciously choosing to step away from what no longer serves you, you pave the way for a future filled with greater clarity, success, and inner peace.